What up, guys? Today I wanted to talk to you about narcissists and control. See, a lot of times we always wonder, like, why do they have to have so much control? And or whenever they get into a lot of conversations where you're kind of have issues with them and you want to kind of discuss some topics of conversation, and you're wondering, like, how come you could never get a straight answer from them? It's either like, you ask them a question, they ask you a question back, or you ask them a question and they run off into some sort of other topic, or you ask them a question, they give you a half a truth, and that sort of thing. Well, a lot of that stuff, it all gets back to control with them. So a lot of times, they're always devising and lying and manipulating. No doubt that this is a manipulation in itself. But this is kind of like, when I talk about that, this is the way that the construct gives them order, or orders them to operate. It's not order, it's disorder, but this is the way they operate. It tells them what to do, is I guess what I was trying to say. The construct that tells them what to do is kind of teaches them to not give any information, because any information will take control away from them. And you got to understand, the narcissist always thinks of, they're either losing control or gaining control at all times during the day and at night. So you got to look at it like that with them, that they're only gaining or losing control. And I think that's why a lot of times that they can look at things as black and white, or they have no object constants, because a lot of times if you're only losing or gaining control, it just kind of goes along with the construct. It's either off or on. It's either win or lose. It's either you're good or you're bad. You're either white or you're black. There's just no gray area. So a lot of times you'll also find, even in their history, I used to call it, it kind of reminds me of almost like word salad, their history, because their history, if you are with a narcissist for a long period of time, you almost still have no idea about their history. I mean, I've been with so many of them, and I've lived with them, and I've had them family and everything. And what you'll find is you can ask them about their history, and like for me or you as humanity, we can give the narcissist, or we can give any individual out there kind of a full dialogue. Like we could kind of start like chapters in a book if we wanted to, and help them to understand where we came from, how we became who we became, how we learned things, how we grew, how we became the individual we became, and gotten from childhood to maybe the state we are today, in the country, I mean, or the country and the world, whatever, because I'm talking to people outside the United States. But it's one of those things to where, like, when you ask the narcissist, it's like, well, I did this over here, and it's real vague, and there's a little cookie cutter this and that, and if you put all the pieces together, it really just doesn't add up. And by the time you're done with all these little pieces, these disheveled pieces of their history, it's almost like you forget them. And then if you were to actually dig in or talk to somebody that did know them in their history, you'll find out half of it's a lie. Half of it is some stories they've taken from other individuals and made them their own. And this is what the narcissist does. I mean, there was a article I read from a narcissist who had talked about this, that they will and I've seen it done, because I grew up with these people, when they're in your family and stuff. But they will like take pieces from like things that happened in my story that I had told them, and then they'll go to a party and they'll tell everybody there that my story that I had just told them was what they just experienced. And so this is how the narcissist will tell you when it comes to their history even. You know, like their friend might have got shot in the hip, you know, and, you know, when they were, you know, whatever, 13, 14 years old, and they're going to tell you, you know, maybe you might have, you know, been talking to them about a war or something, and they're like, yo, I got shot in the hip, you know, when I was like 14, and you know, and you'd be like, for real? And then they'll show you like this welt on this like birthmark or something on their hip. I've had this happen, and it ain't a bullet hole, but bullet wound injury. But I mean, until you understand narcissism, you know, you kind of believe them. I mean, who the hell would tell a lie like that, you know? And bold-faced lies, they just pick up from somebody else and make them their own because it sounds exciting. And they don't want to tell you the real truth, because if you knew the real truth, then you'd be able to understand who they really are. And they always have to cover up who they really are, because who they really are is nobody. And so, so this is why also, you know, when you get into, you know, conversations with them, they just kind of, you know, word salad, blame shift, project, and all of those things, because they don't ever want you to know their identity. But at the end of the day, nobody knows their identity, including themselves. They really don't even know who they are. That's the real problem of the whole situation. They never became an individual. They just became and latched on to their caregiver and were brainwashed into believing whatever that caregiver, you know, told them made them happy. And so they just answered, they answered the call of the narcissist caregiver and never became themselves, never became original. And so when they get older, that's where they devised the mask for you, me, and everybody else. That's why there's so many, they will never get different groups of their so-called friends or acquaintances or groups of people that they hang out with, because they don't have any friends. But they wear a different mask for each person that they hang out with, whatever suits that individual and makes that individual want to be with them. You see, it's like this. They kind of almost, when they're mirroring you back to yourself, you can look at it almost like is almost like they're starting with a people pleasing to some degree. You know, they're going to people please you, and become whatever that face is that pleases you. And then once they get in, there's no more pleasing. Okay, it was just a hoax to get you to let down your guard, to trust them, and for them to build trust in you and to data mine you. But then after that, it's not. And anytime they're nice to you, that's why they're nice to you in the love bomb, because they're building the mask. And then they're nice to you any other time is because there's something that, you know, they want to get back in because they need that supply. And so they got to get you to drop your walls, your boundaries. And when they come in vulnerable, they come in sweet and kind, like you don't see very often after the love bomb or the first love bomb, then you're kind of willing to do that. And that's how they keep coming in over and over again, time after time after time. And that's how they get you back time after time after time, because they can also believe it. And then you looking at them, they believe it. They believe it, and they really do. They can believe it. They can believe, you know, when they need supply, they can believe whatever they're telling you. Because to them, it's almost like life or death, especially if you're their last hope of supply, because all the other stuff's thrown by the wayside or they have no backup. So anyway, hope this helped somebody out there today understand a little bit of the mind of the narcissist. Tell me what you think in the comments. Give me a like, a subscription, and a thumbs up, please. I love y'all, and Stand tall all the time, always and forever. Soldier up. Peace out.